Let's take a look at some lunge salutation options. We're starting with what I'm calling the short and square. So we'll start by stepping the right foot back from our half forward fold position. Knee comes right to the floor or a pad, and the knee is going to be under the hip, squeezing the back of the hip and the ribs pulling back so we get a bigger stretch through the front of the hip. Dogs run by. Knees come down, and then we're doing a cat and cow vinyasa here. It's a nice accessible movement that you can do anytime instead of more complicated vinyasa. Then right foot steps forward to repeat or complete this one. Squeeze the back of the hip, pull the ribs in, look for the stretch on the front of the thigh. Left foot steps forward into half forward fold and full forward fold up to stand. The hippy dippy starts with the left foot stepping back this time. We're calling it the hippy dippy because the hips dip low. So rather than squaring off, you'll notice now my knee is much further behind the hip, letting the pelvis tilt forward. As long as it doesn't hurt the back, as long as it feels good for you, go for it. Then the hands come down. This time I'm stepping back for a knees down chaturanga, another nice option. Lifting up into cobra, the pelvis stays down, and back into downward facing dog. To complete this one, the left foot will step forward. And as the left foot steps forward, I'm taking a big, long stride. Knee comes down, add padding anytime you need it. Letting my pelvis tilt forward, but maybe making sure I still have a little control there so it just isn't a lot of compression. Sometimes that can be an issue for the back. Hands come down, stepping forward. Here's that half forward fold, the fold, and up to stand as we prepare for what I'm calling the long and low. So now we're going to be back with the right foot stepping back first. For the long and low, the fingertips can be down on the floor or blocks. I start with both hands framing the front foot, and then I step it to the inside just to show that that's an option. From plank, I'm lowering down to the floor into cobra, and then back to down dog. So you get a little feel for all of the different vinyasa options that are available throughout. Right foot lifts up, and then I'm going to take a three-legged dog here. It's not available to everybody, but if it feels good, enjoy it. Right foot forward, pausing, extending spine forward, heel back, strong through the back leg, step forward, fold again. Up to stand, arms reach, hands back through Anjali Mudra. Here's the high lunge. This is the last one. We fold forward. I'm going to show, within this one lunge, I show a couple different ways to explore it. So left foot steps back, and then take a look. I could start with the back knee bent, or I could start to straighten it a little bit so it looks a little more like the hippy dippy with the knee off the floor. Hands come down. Now it's plank to chaturanga, and this time I'm using upward facing dog for my transition. And just to give you a little bit of a feeling, I'm lowering down and also showing locust, which is another option I like, especially if you're working strength rather than thinking about flexibility. Back into downward facing dog for a moment. Left leg up, three-legged dog, and then the left leg was going to step forward into this final high lunge. Now again, different ways to explore this. You could have the back knee bent so it's more square, or enjoying a little bit more of a back bend here in the hippy dippy variation of the high lunge. Fingertips down. Looking forward, nice time to smooch your dog and fold. And then all the way up to stand. Maybe it feels good here to bring a little bit more back bend into it if you like. Hands through Anjali Mudra and rest.